This is Gary and Joe. We're the ADD boys.
We're the ADD boys, man.
And I'm going to tell you a story about...
We'll change the subject on you pronto.
Yes, we will. And
Let me not crash at this intersection.
I know, right? I'm going to tell you a story about the funny magician, you know?
When I was a little boy, I'm gonna run you over! I'm gonna run you over!
God. There was a puppet back in the 80s called Madam. So basically,
Madam was just like this puppet of the 1970s and 80s, appearing on multiple shows like I don't know, like Love Boat and Fantasy Island
and Solid Gold,
Hee-Haw, and all that shit. You know,
Solid Gold.
Yeah, and then Gary took it upon himself, okay, to imagine. Oh, wait a minute. He found this puppet, okay, Madam, horribly frightening when he was a child.
Yes, I did.
He thought she was like under the bed. Is that correct?
Oh, behind my dresser.
Oh,
too.
behind the dresser, like Poltergeist,
like hiding behind the
like
dresser,
the clown in Poltergeist.
Yes, exactly.
I mean,
that's
exactly
right.
like that. You know. So for him, he called Madam, okay, from the 1980s, a puppet, the funny magician.
Ah, damn! It's the funny magician.
Today, he's no longer scared of the funny magician, and he uses her in a lot of his jokes. So he'll be like, "Hey man, look at that. Like the funny magician." You know what I mean? And then I get the joke because I know Gary. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the story behind the funny magician. It's Madam from the 1970s. Look her up. Google her.
So basically, she came on Solid Gold and she was all in her
Solid Gold, put a rhythm in my soul.
And she was all in sequence bell bottoms and diamond tiaras and shit. So she came on, and then the next night, the very same night, I went to bed.
I had a nightmare.
And I had a nightmare that she was hiding behind my Chester drawer, and it was
And from there on, it was history.
Yeah. It's like the vibration would...
Yeah. This is when Gary goes real nuts.
It gets real weird.
This is where you don't relate anymore.
So the whole vibration would be...
This is that moment where you're like, Gary, I lost you on chapter 5. You know what I mean?
So basically it was then she would come into my room and go, meh, 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 meh.
Yeah.
And then she would start pecking me with her nose.
Are you still with him?
Then I'd wake up and start screaming and bloody murder because this magician...
This is the point you're on the date with Gary saying, I'll call you. Don't call me.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, this is the funny. I had dreams about her for 7 damn years. Her hiding behind the same dresser. One time she was with a very...
You're telling the waiter already, check please? You know what I mean?
She was actually with a baker man, like a gourmet chef. And he said, now don't you peck him. Don't you peck him. And she goes, meh. That means, fuck you. I'm not going to peck him, I promise. And then when he left, she looked at me.
By this time, you're already cutting him off social media, like blocking.
But so with the chef left, and she looked at me and she started pecking me over and over again with her nose, you know.
At this point, you're like, 911, is this yeah, I would like to report a crazy motherfucker.
So I woke up in a cold sweat on my grandmother's couch. Like a cold fucking sweat.
By this time, you're calling the FBI.
And that's the funny magician. Now she's a gay sensation.
Oh, now you're calling... I don't even know what to come up with anymore.